Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is episode 77. I am so excited. I'm with my friend Kimberly today, and I'm so honored. So, Kimberly, we met a few years ago, and it was organic. We met just at an event, like an entrepreneur community event, and we just started talking. And you reminded me that we were talking about DJing and music, and that just like lit up my heart. And then we've been collaborating on different events since then. And you've just been brilliant, Kimberly. So will you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, it's just so amazing. Like 3 years of collaborating and colliding with you.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me. So my name is Kim Franks. I am CEO and founder of Liberated Roots Co. And so Liberated Roots Co. is the parking lot for all of my wild creative expression. So it is vintage clothing. It's a space and an outlet for my passion for amplifying Black entrepreneurship. It is the name of the brick and mortar shop that I operate on the south side of St. Louis. And it's also an emerging outlet for fashion shows, personal styling, and who knows, the sky's the limit.
The sky is the limit, girl. Yeah. Your
Mhm.
squad, the folks that you have brought in are brilliant, girl. Like genius level artistry.
Thank you. Thank you. So, it's called Liberated Roots Co. because collaboration is my love language. So co is for so much. It's for community. It's for collaboration. It's for our collective identity. It's for cooperating. It's everything that's about co. Thank you. Like for me, evidence of the work is being able to collaborate with some amazing, amazing creatives here in St. Louis. I mean, it's just like exceeded my expectations.
Absolutely, girl.
Never imagined some of the people that have entered my life through Liberated Roots, including you.
Yeah, girl, it's a dream. So, growing up, were you very much a creative? Were you like out of the box, cooperative community girl?
I didn't consider myself that way at all.
Mm,
Um, I was very bookish,
okay.
always going for the A's and always in my head thinking, very curious. I like reading encyclopedias, but creative, no. I did not even consider myself in that framework. It's probably been like only a couple years
Ooh.
where I'm just like, oh, that thing you do where you're thinking about something and somebody's looking at you like you're crazy, right? That's called creativity. So, school really messes you up because it equates creativity with the arts.
Mm.
And then there's like this narrow definition for what arts are. So I struggled in art class, completing the projects, in that rigid, I didn't like it. So I did not enjoy doing art stuff. I love crafting, like, but because I didn't think I was good at it, then I didn't think I was creative.
Ooh, that was a word, girl. School definitely has a very rigid definition for creativity. And I too didn't think I was until somebody said it to me like a couple of years ago. And I was like, damn, like I'm in my 30s and like I never considered myself to be like an artist. And what is art, right?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a hot topic. That's a hard. Oh, what is
Yes.
art?
What is art?
That's a whole nother thing because somebody was interviewing me last year
Yeah.
and they said, well, tell me about your journey as an artist. And I said, who? What? I'm a creative, not an artist. And I'm just like, I'm still like, mm,
Okay, creative versus artist. Yes, creative versus artist. Because when we think about, for example, Metamorphosis, it was this beautiful, it was like a community block party, intergenerational, vintage clothing, fashion, but also empowerment and activism and local businesses and other entrepreneurs. It was like a shared space, like outdoor living, music, spoken word, poetry, film. Like it was just like a beautiful like synergy of so many methods of art or modalities, but it
Mm-hmm.
takes very creative people to put that together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Metamorphosis, that was the fashion show back in the fall,
Yes.
and my brand anniversary. That was the first time that I had been involved in anything like that. And so for me, it felt comfortable. People will ask me to this day, they'll come in the shop and they'll pick up something and they say, well, did you make this? And I'll just say, no, I don't make, I curate.
Ooh, I love that.
I enjoy being in that space, assembling things that people have made and bringing it all together or activating different ideas and thoughts for how artists who have technical skills might engage in expression.
Yes. I don't make, I curate. That's
Mhm.
deeply felt in your shop, in Roots Oasis, in South City. It is such a vibe. And you're a Libra, you're also a manifesting generator. So beauty, right? But also change is in the air. And so when I come in there, you're like, oh, girl, last night we were just up hella late, reorganizing, redecorating. And it's so perfect. And so to be able to do that outside for this block party was like incredible because there were different lounges. It almost felt like an outdoor, I don't even know, like a beautiful situation, but curating a lot of maybe other people's art, you know?
Yeah, just mixing it up. Yeah, I was talking to the artist recently who's going to start featuring some of their art in the shop, and it was like a conversation was just like, yeah, you can do whatever, you can bring whatever you want art wise in. And I was like, yep, and I'm like, sure, yeah, that, and then they were just like, so then I also get to come in and arrange my display. I'm like, nope, you don't get to do that. Nope.
Yeah.
When it comes to like how your things, I'll probably put you here. But in terms of like the visual merchandising of that, no.
Ooh,
That's where I was like, I felt very like, oh, that's hard. No, that's
yeah,
mine. That's my goal.
that's mine.
Because
Yeah.
I have to figure out where your works exist and collide with others.
Yeah, so that's harmonious, you know, like it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense, even though it's a mix of different things, just like vintage clothing, right? Like the way that you organize strictly apparel, but it's not just apparel. You have purses, you have accessories, you have jewelry, you have scarves, you have shoes, you know, and then it's actual items like workbooks and bags and journals and cards, you know, like the nap ministry books. Like it's just such a beautiful, like there's so many layers to the self-care and the person. It's just beautifully curated, just like you said, like a museum, you know what I mean? Like it's so many different layers.
Thank you. You know what? I raised three kids. Three strong-willed, well, two of them strong-willed, one kind of meek. And so life is always like about arranging them and aligning their needs and building a space and a home
You're
where
right.
everybody could like kind of coexist.
Mm. That's so real. Yeah, you learn, like you definitely have mama bear vibes, but yeah,
Yeah.
doing it in the home, you know, and then like with your friends and the people, the artists that you connect with. It's always about rearranging and seeing how we fit and honoring the differences and the strengths. This is your lane, but when we come over here, let me be the one to help organize and lay it out.
Yep. That that part.
That part.
Exactly.
Oh my
That
goodness. I love it, girl.
yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy that.
You
And
do.
I enjoy seeing how, you know, the things that people make can complement each other. And then the human beings, like when I get the actual humans in the room together, magic.
Yes. Oh, the humans. I love that girl. So a lot of this comes from the motherhood journey. A lot of it comes from probably also being a transplant. Like I moved here, so I needed to help curate my own life in a new city. And then as a business owner too, thinking about all the different pieces and what is the long-term goal? Because I think what originally was a brick and mortar is so much more than that now.
Yeah, the brick and mortar, I named it Roots Oasis, and it's been truly that. And the difference that having that space and an anchor, it's sort of like having a nest.
Mm.
So prior to opening the storefront, I was doing markets every weekend.
Yeah.
Well, pretty quite frequently, right? So go to the storage unit, load up my stuff, go set up a tent,
Mm-hmm.
then pack it back up, put it back in the storage unit. But the community building part and not having space that so I didn't have the space to do some of the community curation. And I wonder doing that first fashion show, would it come out any differently if we hadn't have had a home base,
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? And I felt like it was really when did I open? It's been 3 years, so that was 2022
Mm-hmm.
when I opened the storefront, and so many businesses were focused on e-commerce.
Yeah.
But I felt that between the pandemic, the quarantine, and all of the people who were working from home, that
Mm-hmm.
there was a need for a space to experience one another in real life,
Yeah.
right? But that, you know, it needed to be special enough to make it worth leaving the comfort of home. And
Mm-hmm.
so Roots Oasis has always been about a four walls, space based solution and providing a space that is curated based upon cultivating community and nurturing. And so I've been able to expand on what I've been doing creatively by having that stability, not worrying like when I go into the shop, I see everything that's there. I see everything that I've curated. I see the big picture in front of me all the time. And so my constant goal in reworking the space is always like with as the seasons shift, the needs of who I'm serving shift. So I'm trying to create this space that's responsive and interactive.
Yeah.
So always stepping back and evaluating whether that is like the way that the space is set up, and the products that have been curated, whether they're meeting the needs. So there's it, which is really tough because big box retail, their niche is what makes a profit, right? It's always like the sales and having SKUs and what SKUs are going to sell is not necessarily as people centered and community centered as like a local independent boutique type business.
Yes.
I have to tune in to the community, and it's almost like there's like I've grown like a third ear and a third eye because I have to keep that open with
Mhm.
having this nest in this space for the store. So it gets intense.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. Yeah, like reading the room, reading the needs of the people, and also kind of the times that we're in, right? Like I feel like the whole world has been turned upside down. Like time after time, like
Uh,
constantly, you know what I'm saying? And like again now, but like your ability, and I think it's maybe because you're a Libra and a manifesting generator, it's like your ability to pivot and not like get stuck or stagnant or like abandon ship when the times change, or even yourself, like your own personal seasons. You got skills, girl. That's a real skill. Hella
Yeah, I'm
people.
like sometimes I'm like, this is crazy. Why are you? I feel like James Brown. You know when James Brown has like they throw the blanket on, like he starts going to the floor. You're like, you're dying, and dying, and then he comes back. It's like I'm back.
And then he comes back. Oh my God. I just had a flashback to Sophie's Girl when we went out dancing, and like the fact that they put on the music from like the 80s and stuff. And I remember seeing you with your like fly ass pants and belt, and like your whole outfit is always fire. And just like the dance moves, and you're just like, oh no, like this is my shit. I can't wait. I'm here, and girl, like it's so important to have those roots of like what brings you back, right? Whether it's a song or a location or a home that hella grounds you, or even just like your favorite outfit, like I know I look good. I know that I'm here and I'm gonna have a good time. It was just like really beautiful to see you, because we need that as business owners, like as things change and evolve and constantly, needing to pivot or reevaluate, identify our customers' needs and our clients. Like we need that space to breathe ourselves, girl. And
Yeah,
you're
sometimes I don't want to be the tree trunk.
I want to be the tree trunk. Right. Like the mom doesn't want to be in charge all the time. No, no.
No, yeah, we're in the middle of this production, and I've joked with the team like, so right now I'm the producer. It's just kind of by default for so many reasons. I'm the producer, so I have to ground things. I have to bring business decisions, it business thought into things, and sometimes say no when people
Mm-hmm.
want, in the face of the desire for balance, creativity, and I'm like, and it's like, oh, it's killing me to say no. And I was like, wow, it would be so luxurious to be invited to somebody else's creative production. And I was like, I'll volunteer. I just want to just
Ooh,
give me a little project. Like it would just be a whole entire snack just to not have the mental load.
the mental load. Yes. Yeah, to be invited into someone else's world, ecosystem, resources, like
And
mind to.
yeah. And I'm just playing. I'm just styling. I'm making stuff, and I don't have to worry. I just got this one little piece, which is the creative piece.
The creative piece. Yeah, girl. Okay, so you're gearing up for Earth Day, right? Will you tell us a
Hmm.
little bit about that here in St. Louis? That's coming up in like a couple of weeks, correct?
Yeah, the 27th. So we're
Okay.
at 18 days.
Okay.
And so yeah, after off of Metamorphosis, we were invited to do this sustainable fashion show. So every day at the St. Louis Earth Day Festival, um, this is the third year they've done a sustainable fashion show. And so we will be taking the stage. We started production back in January, and the name of
Ooh.
the show is Natural Consequences, the
Ooh.
tumultuous pursuit of harmony.
Natural consequences, the tumultuous pursuit of harmony.
Yep. And so this is a story about Mother Nature being in her villain era.
I love.
She's suffered far too long neglect, cruelty, torture, just all sorts of abuses and cruelties. And what happens? Rage and fury,
Ooh,
coming with all of her elements:
all of her elements. Oh my goodness.
fire, wind, water, earth, ether.
Oh, oh my gosh.
And so,
Oh,
um, that's kind of what we're like climate change.
yeah.
You mess around and you don't do what you're supposed to do. Well, you're gonna find out.
Yes.
Those are natural consequences,
Natural consequences. Yes.
which is, very much a metaphor
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
our social political identity existence too.
Yeah.
So, we have the show will feature 15 designers and the stylist crew from Liberated Roots. So I'll be doing styles. Ahasa and Zion will also be doing some styles from vintage selections. Really excited about this designer team and the concepts that they've submitted. The Whisper Style team is going to be bringing the hair and makeup magic. We've got 25 models. We've got local R&B artist Emrys Jones directing music. There will be some live drumming. There will be
Ooh.
movement. So there will be, yeah, so
Damn.
not your traditional runway at all.
Mm. Mm. Oh, girl, the drumming, the movement. Yeah, someone what you would not expect to see any of that, let alone so many designers and models with these themes. Here's the theme, Mother Nature in her villain era, which just slays, in my opinion. I love to see this and all of her elements. So I'm just having visuals right now of like the water. And I remember that skirt, girl, from the Ujima fashion show that we did last year, right, with Zion.
Mhm.
And yeah, your mom is such a huge part of this as well. All of the Ujima apprentices, they were the models. Like, it was divine. And that the skirt that I got, girl, that you saved for me, slash the universe had for me, this white, beautiful skirt
With the
with
blue
the
flowers.
blue flowers, but they look like birds. They look like birds, girl. And I'm just like, damn, like this is art, truly art, girl.
So, and so like the I'm hoping that the show will be impactful,
Yeah.
that it will get people to think about, that will activate people to be just courageous
Mm.
and to be comfortable like with righteous outrage,
Yes.
right? But also when when I think about the fashion piece,
Yeah.
we're trying to inspire St. Louis
Yeah.
to rethink the possibilities for how we can show up.
Ooh.
We've got such a nice core creative community here, um, and access to all sorts of sustainable fashion. We got all the Goodwills, we got all the vintage shops, and I just think that there's so many possibilities with sustainable fashion for just showing up as yourself, being comfortable,
Yeah.
but just see yourself as a special occasion.
Yeah.
So gonna have some pretty neat looks that will hopefully be inspiring.
Girl, yes. I love that you talk about like activating folks, because that's something that's so much deeper than just serving them or teaching. Like activating is like turning people on, awakening something dormant within them, whether it is courage, right? Whether it is a new level of self-expression, a new level of like thinking outside the box, like blowing your own mind. And so this is so much deeper than just what are you wearing? Does that look good together? This is like, no, who are you really? And you said it so beautifully, rethinking the possibilities of how we can show up. There's so many possibilities. Like, it's endless, right? Like, the sky is the limit of ways that you can show up, express yourself, collaborate, create, just be. Like, oh, girl, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I also really love the idea of the righteous outrage, and Mother Nature in her villain era is like representative of the woman, but also like feelings and things that have been long suppressed, ignored, neglected, just like we talked about, like the suffering, but righteous outrage. Hey, like I'm allowed to be angry and upset, and there are consequences, just like you said, but it's righteous. Like this isn't like vindictive or like random outrage. This is 100% just.
Justify.
Right. Justified. Mm.
I mean, just think about what happens after, like if like Central America, when my husband and I went to Costa Rica and we went and visited the Arenal volcano, it was really neat to see in person. Like, you got the volcano and what it does, like when it erupts and then it burns everything down. But then like the first step of reforestation is these are the ancient plants like the ferns. Very simple, right? So sometimes with that burn is like the new growth that comes with that in the fertile soil.
Ooh. Ooh, I love that. The ferns are
You're
so
not gonna get this with like when somebody goes and they just do a unnatural burn. It's when Mother Nature cycles through.
yeah. Yeah. Ooh, girl, I love that. Yeah, the ancient ferns that have been along like prehistoric.
Like the most primitive, yeah. So the regrowth starts with the most primitive plants
Yeah.
and then evolves from there.
Ooh, okay. That is so beautiful. Yeah, and it can't be a controlled burn. It can't be people doing it. It's got to be literally organic.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, just like real art for real. You can tell when there's like a simulation or like a facade, right? When it's like your real heart and soul. Okay, we talked about this before, but like Pose, the Netflix show that we love. Do you remember the audition, girl? How raw that was? The like one of the main characters, his audition to go to the dance school, like
Yes.
I watch that often and I'm just like, yo, he left his heart and soul on the dance floor, literally. Like he had never been in any like structured, high level
And
like
he didn't
dance.
know what was gonna go because he was like, "Oh my gosh, I went too raw." But no,
No. It was perfection. Like and bursted into tears and so did the teacher. She like came and like held him because his body was so limp and like complete because it had expressed years of rage and like all this.
rejection and
Yeah,
against him just trying to be his authentic self.
right.
And then that journey to being like kicked out of his home and then finding fictive kinship in himself, just like so much.
So much. Girl, I cannot wait for this. Okay, so this is the Earth Day Festival in St. Louis. It's at Forest Park. Okay, all right, this is brilliant. So we're gonna make sure that we publish this like ASAP so we can get the folks in the building. Like I want clips of you describing this entire show. This is amazing, girl.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Okay, Kim, this has been like mind blowing. I love like the essence. Like, what are we doing this for? Like, what's the root here? Liberated roots. Like, what is the real essence of what we're doing? Okay, so Kim, do you have
You're not gonna not gonna be able to get to solutions. They always talk about the root cause, get to the
right?
roots, and then you can be free. Do do
Mm,
do do do.
yeah, get to the roots. Okay, so Kim, give us some final thoughts. Is there anything that you want the people to know today? Anything that's been on your heart, your mind, your soul? What would you like to share?
Right now, I am really holding as sacred Black creative energy. One of the things that I'm really proud of with the younger generation, especially like millennials who are raising kids, is that I'm seeing a lot more of our babies being supported in the arts and their creative journeys. And, you know, we can, right now we're in this era of rest. And it doesn't mean that we're not doing anything. Some of us are shifting gears. Right now, my work is activism through creative expression. Um, but so for me, it's very important to harness and hold sacred creative energy because things have got to change,
Mhm.
right? And you can resist all you want, but you've got to imagine what it is you want to get to.
Mhm.
And that takes creative energy. So,
Yes.
um, yeah, so I'm seeing it happen with different community organizations. And so it's not necessarily the arts. Like, so, I love Ujima
Yeah.
so much for the way that they nurture
Yeah.
the youth in the program. They allow them to take leadership and to come up with ideas, right? And to think critically. Um, and so I don't know, that's to me, that's like the movement piece. Is people really, really, if they share in the same frustration that I share in with where we are right now. Um, and I'm kind of all over the place, but I was just reading on tyranny last night.
Okay.
And one of the points was to support the creative arts.
Mm.
So that's what I want to say. Just hold it sacred. Um, the creative arts, hold it sacred, Black creative energy, and and find that part in yourself, and try to find spaces where you can co-create with others.
Oh my goodness. That's perfect. Yeah, hold it sacred because our health, longevity, future depends on it. Period. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. This was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, Kim, will you tell us how we can reach you? How can we keep in touch? How can we follow you? Where should we go?
Okay. On the socials, the handle is Liberated Roots Co. On TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn if you want to network, talk about opportunities, collaboration, business building together. Kimberly Franks on LinkedIn. You want to shop us online? www.liberatedroots.com. And you want to come see our brick and mortar, see us in real life, 2216 South Jefferson, less than a half mile south of Highway 44 near Lafayette Square in Soulard.
Love it. Okay, girl, this is brilliant. I'm so excited. Thank you,
Thank
thank you, thank
you.
you. Ah, this is such a blessing.
This has been a pleasure.
Yes.
I'll
Okay, you
see you
guys.
soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon for show. And everybody else, stay tuned. Check the show notes for the details about Earth Day, about Ujima, about Liberated Roots. And we'll see you next time. If you're looking for the most ethical, powerful, and magical fucking aromatherapy on the planet, so you can be a better bitch and just like totally fucking taken care of, I got the shit for you. I created this skincare line as an extension of my high school senior project. All natural aromatherapy experience, because that's what we did back in the day. On our priestess, bad bitch, queen shits, we used oils, the purest fucking oils that not only penetrated your skin, it anointed you. Waking up first thing in the morning, clearing yourself between meetings, before you pick up your kids, that's the kind of shit I'm on. Almost like if you were saging, but you don't need a lighter. So let me introduce you guys. These make beautiful gifts. A holiday gift, for a Valentine's gift, or a galentine for your clients. A sister circle, somebody's birthday coming up. I also have an affiliate program. So if you want to sign up and you want to be a brand ambassador for Align with Anna, you get paid. To learn more about that, please go to alignwithanna.com/get paid, and let's grow together. You can also shop wholesale, Etsy, and Shopify. As a mom, as someone who really values her self-care and her routine, I use all of these daily, and it's gonna come in a sweet little box. I will put some beautiful tissue in there. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Shop today.